Pompolona Lodge to Quinton Lodge. 15 kilometres, 9 miles, 6 to 8 hours walking. The hardest day will see an early start with 15 kilometres to walk from Pompolona Lodge to Quinton Lodge over the McKinnon Pass. This part of the track gets a little steeper, but there is a rest at Lake Mintaro, originally named Lake Beautiful by McKinnon. Continuing up a series of 11 zigzags, climbing 600 metres, there are plenty of resting places to enjoy the impressive views of the Nicholas Cirque and the Clinton Canyon.
The glacier would have started about 20,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we're looking into the Nicholas Cirque here. And if you can imagine the whole valley filled up with tons and tons of ice and pushing all the way right down to Lake Tiana. Right above us is McKinnon Pass, so we haven't got too far to go now.
Almost there.
No, I'm shooting you from behind. So just carry on.
Woohoo! Here we are. I know. We have to get your photo up by the memorial. To get into the hut. Hey guys, well done. McKinnon Pass. This is. Yes.
Fantastic 360-degree views of the mountains.
Yeah.
Once at the top of McKinnon Pass, we pause at the cairn constructed in 1912, a memorial to the efforts of McKinnon and Mitchell in 1888.
We're just coming up to the highest point here, guys. Not too much more climbing to go.
Right.
Look at that. Eh?
Oh, that's incredible.
Wow.
Go.
There's just Pompolona out there.
Lunch at the Pass Hut Shelter is another great place to enjoy the local wildlife. After lunch, the track edges its way around the base of Mount Balloon, under the sheer face of the Jervois Glacier. Most people agree that this downhill section contains not only the hardest walking, but also some of the most scenic views, towering rock cliffs, alpine glacial-fed streams, the cascading waterfall section, and moss-covered forest. Crossing the Roaring Burn Swing Bridge brings this section of the walk to Quinton Lodge for afternoon tea. After a rest, it's time to take the opportunity to see the magnificent 540 metre or 1940 foot Sutherland Falls, a 90-minute round trip. These falls are the 5th largest in the world and offer fantastic photo opportunities. Back at the lodge, it's time to relax and reflect on the terrain covered, knowing the hardest part of the walk has been completed. Quinton Lodge to Mitre Peak Lodge, 21 kilometres, 13 miles, 6 to 8 hours walking. The longest day. It's equivalent to a half marathon. The day begins with a final glimpse of the top leap of the Sutherland Falls before heading down the long, rocky hill known as Gentle Annie. From here, the track takes in well-known local spots, such as the racecourse, where the early pack horses tried to pass each other.
Because they all have such shallow root systems, all of the trees lock together. And when one tree at the top comes away, it just has a huge domino effect and pulls all of the others down.
By mid-morning, it's time to enjoy a cuppa at the boat shed, before setting out on the last section of the track. over the swing bridge and onto the Mackay Falls, a stunning waterfall in one of New Zealand's wettest areas. Situated next to Mackay Falls is Bell Rock, a hollowed-out boulder which was tossed out of the river during a violent flood hundreds of years ago. The track takes in Telegraph Point, offering fantastic views down the Arthur Valley toward Milford Sound with Lake Ada in the foreground.
はるばる日本から来た甲斐がありました。
Carved into the rock is a reminder of the 1898 West Coast Irish miners who spent 2 years clearing a 200-metre section of the track. Near the 30-mile peg, the steady roar of Giant's Gate Falls can be heard. The cooling mists of the waterfall are another opportunity to drop off the backpack and take a look around. From the falls, the final walk is along the beautiful and tranquil shores of Lake Ada to Sandfly Point.
Exhilarating, probably a bit harder than I thought because everyone said it was rated easy, but definitely a challenge and worth doing.
Okay.
It was incredible. The thing that stunned me most was the color of the water.
Here it's time to leave the track and take a short boat trip into Milford Sound. Here walkers check into the Mitre Peak Lodge for a celebratory evening, including the presentation of certificates and group photographs. After a good night's sleep, day 5 is spent taking a cruise around Milford Sound, an ancient fjord carved out by glaciers. Dolphins and fur seals can be spotted as the boat moves past the sheer face of towering Mitre Peak, a breathtaking sight. Then it's time to return to Tiana and Queenstown by coach or fly directly by helicopter back to Queenstown. The Milford Track Guided Walk is reputed to be the finest walk in the world.